Hello. Um, okay. I don't know if it's the lighting or my makeup or some combination of both, but my eyes look so green right now. I am here for it. Anyway, welcome. Pull up a chair, get cozy, and let's talk about intimacy in devised theater spaces. I know it's exciting. I mean, like, I think it's exciting anyway. Um, That's going to beg a few questions. This is going to be the first video in a series of videos, so yay, stick around. So question number one, devised theater? What does that even mean? Well, for the uninitiated, most of the time when we think of traditional theater structures in the West, especially in the US, it's a top-down sort of structure. It's very hierarchical. You have the script, the director, the designers, and then the actors down at the bottom. And all decisions are run through the director and or playwright. If you're working with a living playwright, there might be a little bit more flexibility there. If you're working with an existing script, that script is gold. Even the director refers back to it if they're doing their job. Devised theater, on the other hand, kind of turns that pyramid upside down, so it funnels instead of top down, where the emphasis is placed on the ensemble. It's a collaborative and more hands-on approach to figuring out how to tell the story. So you get all this stuff and you condense it until you get whatever your story, performance piece, play, whatever you want to call it is. I tend to think of it in a really like nitty-gritty sort of way as building a language. Language evolves, and that's still true, so therefore the way we tell stories evolves, and it's going to evolve based on all the different variables that each member of the collaborative process brings to it. There are devised ensembles in the world who have no director, who might just kind of name somebody from the company as director for convenience. And then there are other devised ensembles where they do, in fact, employ a director to be that outside eye. That's a methodology that works great for me because it's hard to see the bigger picture when you're inside it. So yeah, that's devised theater. Intimacy. What is intimacy? Well, that's a question for the ages, isn't it? I think most people in this world have an understanding of like what the role, a general vague understanding of what the role of an intimacy coordinator is, especially on a film set or a choreographer in a live theater space. But when you think about what is intimacy, it's so much more than just that physical intimacy between characters. It's a lot of things, and it's going to depend on the actors as much as it's going to depend on the characters they're playing, and boundaries that change every day. There's going to be boundaries of ideas, there's going to be boundaries of emotions that we don't want to deal with in a theater space, especially because if we get too caught in our own feelings, it becomes a little self-aggrandizing, I guess is the word I'm going to put on it today. So my nitty-gritty definition of intimacy for the purposes of this discussion is going to be heightened vulnerability. Because vulnerability is good. It's where we want to tell our stories from. Because I mean, like, if a story's not a little bit vulnerable, who cares? Why are we telling it? What's the point? If we don't have something to lose, we also don't have much to gain. And I think that's true universally in theater. We don't tell these stories by accident. So we're always dealing with intimacy as theater professionals. So what does that mean in a devised theater space? Devised theater spaces tend to be very physical, very hands-on. You're working in an ensemble, and a lot of times that ensemble has been working together for a while. Sometimes new people come in, and like, what does that do to the dynamic, and how does that upset the apple cart, as it were? So yeah, lots of questions. And this past semester I was gifted the very generous opportunity to be a fly on the wall of a devising ensemble process with an eye towards intimacy. I was not their intimacy choreographer. There was, in fact, intimacy built into the piece they ended up creating. And just working with them and observing them led me to all sorts of questions, and I really can't wait to share those questions with all of you. So stick around.